Good morning and welcome to our daily Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn. I'm glad that you're able to join us this morning or able to watch a recording of this devotional today on Wednesday, May the 13th. Thank you for joining us. So we've been in the book of Acts for a while now, and we had our Bible study last night where we studied this whole passage of Acts chapter 17, verses 22 through 31. And this morning we're going to focus on Acts 17, verses 26 and 27, the two verses in the middle of this passage for the week. And remember, this is Paul speaking to the Athenians and making a case for the gospel with the most famous university town in the ancient Greco-Roman world, that is Athens, Greece. So let's focus on these two verses. And he made from one every nation of men to live on all the face of the earth, having determined allotted periods and the boundaries of their habitation, that they should seek God in the hope that they might feel after him and find him, yet he is not far from each one of us. So there's quite a lot in just these two verses. The first point that Paul makes in verse 26 is that all human beings come from one human being, which is Adam. And as I stressed last night, and I think is very important, the point here is not biological. The point is that all humans are united in their dependence upon God as creator. Humans, as you know, are very different from one another. Some of you have had children, and you've had maybe two or more children, and you're sometimes shocked at how different the children are from one another. They're almost like two different species sometimes. But even with all of the differences that we can find between human beings on all sorts of issues, there are things that are the same. I mean, we have to eat, we have to sleep, we need shelter, at least occasionally. We are born and we die. So there are these things that we have in common. And one of the things that Paul is emphasizing here that we have in common is that every human being comes from God. And therefore, every human being has this religious, spiritual element. We're created to return to God. And so he really emphasizes this point that God has created humans to desire union with God. Now, this doesn't always manifest, I think. I think there are a lot of human beings that are able to cover over this part of their lives. I think there are ways to avoid the mystery of life and to avoid the spirituality of life. We do a good job of it in our culture with entertainment. As you know, I'm a big sports fan, especially college football, and it's easy for me to get lost in the entertainment and the sports world and to forget my humanity and my main reason for being. So there are lots of ways for us to get distracted from our essential spiritual nature. And this sets the stage for Paul to be able to say very, very powerfully that that God has made for us in Jesus Christ a way to become united with God. And that this, of course, is makes it possible for all human beings to be saved and to be united, so that there is a way to have union with God. It does lie outside of us. It is a grace that comes from without, and it's something that is available to us, that we can embrace, but it's not something that we're going to find in the world around us or in objects around us. And so a very powerful message this morning from the book of Acts, a message about how human beings are all made to be religious creatures, and that this is an easy thing to forget. So I'll close with this word of prayer. Eternal God, thy law is inevitable, and thy love is inescapable. Where shall we flee from thy spirit, or where shall we go from thy presence? If we ascend to the heavens, thou art there, and it is thyself that makes all the hells our souls can know. We have to come to thee because we cannot fly from thee. We yield to thee because we can do no other. But not only because we must, but because we may, we come to thee. It is thy love that compels, and it is our very selves that answer to thy call. The revelation of thyself ends all rebellion. The showing of thy heart has broken ours. From one who has loved us to the uttermost, we cannot keep our own poor love. To the Father who begat us and bore with us and desires to be our friend, we cannot refuse the service of our sonship. So, as an arrow to its mark, as dew drawn heavenward by the sun, as a child to its mother's breast, we come. Amen. Thank you very much for joining us this morning for our daily devotional from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn. I hope you'll be able to join us each and every day at 9 a.m. Pacific time, or watch the recording on YouTube after 10 a.m. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Have a great day.